We're just going to finish off, and again the final corner is a half a V-stitch, so 1 double crochet, chaining 1, and then just slip it to the top and pull through. Okay, and we can now slip off, or we can actually just cut the string now, pulling it through. And again, remember what I told you, I just kind of come in, just kind of wrap it. I know the white is maybe difficult to see, and I just have to weave in this piece into the top. I'm actually kind of skipping every other one at this point because it will get trapped in really good. And so you can either trim these after you finish it, so you can actually trim this blue that's in the front or top right now, and you can actually come back and get this other one because you've trapped it so far as that you can actually cut it and not have to worry about it. But I wouldn't cut these until you're actually beyond it on the next one. So now we're going to start off with our next color, and it will be the landscape green. And in this one here, we're just going to do a single crochet going all the way around, but we're just going to use the same techniques that we've already done. So now that it's all weaved in, we want to turn this around. So this is what we were working on. We want to turn this around, and we now want to work on this other side. So this color is again all facing one direction. Okay, and I want to go right into the same corner that I just fastened off of, and I'm just gonna do there, and we're gonna start off with the chaining 1. I actually technically put everything in so that it doesn't fall out afterward, and basically that is the beginning of the corner. So then the next one that comes around, this will be the last corner again, and basically every stitch is going to get 1 double crochet, or sorry, 1 single crochet into each. And then we're going to do the V-stitch again on the corners, and this time the V-stitch will be 1 single crochet, chaining 1, 1 single crochet. So if you noticed in the last round we had 9 double crochets, so because we're doing the single crochet here, it doesn't change the counts. You'll end up with 11 single crochets going across, and let's hopefully that just worked out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's working out perfectly. You do got to keep count on that. And basically it's the V-stitch, so 1 single crochet, chaining 1, 1 single crochet, and just want to working it all the way around. So you're thinking to yourself, that's not a lot of color just to do it for one strand or one line around, but it actually really makes a really nice highlight just going all the way around your afghan. So let's continue that, go all the way along. We'll meet back up. We're going to slip stitch it and then fasten that off and join the next color. So now all the way back around, I started doing the corner, and so just chaining 1 and just want to slip it then to the beginning chain that you started with, and that it can just be cut and fastened off. So this is where I'm going to leave you now to do the rest of this hexagon according to the directions that I have provided to you complimentary, and just follow the colors. Everything that you've just learned as far as doing double crochet around the hexagon will remain the same. The only difference is that the afghan will be getting bigger with every revolution. Just make sure you just weave in your edges and just do a nice job of doing that so it really traps that into position. And what we're going to do now is to skip forward to the remainder of to this hexagon actually being completed, and we're going to now then move along to do the box block stitch. Also keep an eye on the counts per side. If you start messing up on the counts per side, it will make a difference when it comes to doing this project for the box block stitch for your counts to work out properly. So let's fast forward you now into that part of this afghan. Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd. If you're following us, this is part number 2 of the afghan that's called the Peonese afghan, and we're doing the centerpiece of this afghan. This was the hardest part, I believe, of this entire project. You know, just counting the stitches between corners to corners was actually kind of a pain, but now the hard work is done, and now it's ready to make all the great work. So at this point there is 31 stitches between corner to corner on all sides, and we need to make sure that is correct. Now if you have an extra stitch or you're missing one, you know, honeys, you can just fake it until you make it. And I have actually done that on the sample that you did see on the preview before, that I actually missed a couple stitches on one side and another, and I just kind of faked it. And you know what, you can barely even tell unless you're going to sit there and count the stitches yourself. So let's move along, and we're going to keep on going, and we're going to start at the corner. We stopped here on part number 1 when we finished off, and now we're going to build up from this point, because now we're going to start doing the boxed block stitch. So the box block stitch is consisting of 2 rows, and one row is the actual blocks. It's like the lattice work or maybe the foundation of crochet, and then the next one up is going to be like all the really vibrant color. So this is almost like a trellis. So this is where we left off. We're now going to chain up 3, so 1, 2, and 3. This is part of the corner. So we're going to come to the one right underneath, and we're going to do 3 double crochets in a row. So 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to start creating the box blocks, and how we do that is that we're always going to chain 3 when we're building up the bridge over top. So let's do that. So 1, 2, and 3. Now just right now there is a consistency, but we have to make it consistent, and we're going to do that on this row. For this part right here, right where I'm showing you, you need to skip 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, go to the 5th, and you're going to double crochet. You're going to double crochet again into the next one, and within the box block there's always 2 double crochets together like this in order to look consistent. So now we're going to build the bridge again. So 1, 2, and 3, and this time instead of skipping over 4, we're only going to skip over 3. So 1, 2, 3, go to the 4th for double crochet, and we're going to do that twice in a row. And now we're going to build the bridge. 1, 2, 3. And if you're looking, this is actually a really quick round. So 1, 2, 3, go to the 4th for 2 double crochets again in a row. And looking at the corner, it's coming up. So let's build the bridge again. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Go to the 4th over for 2 double crochets in a row, and that corner is now coming up. So just like we did over here when we skipped over 4, we need to do that here on this side as well. So 1, 2. So the corner is now coming up, and we just got to build the bridge. So 1, 2, and 3. And now remember what I told you over here, we skipped over 4, and we've been doing 3 normally over here. We need to skip 4 on this side right before we get to the edge. So 1, 2, 3, 4, go to the 5th, and we're going to double crochet in, double crochet again, and again, and now you're on the very edge corner right here, and we're going to do a V stitch. Okay, so V is 1 double crochet, 1 chain, 1 double crochet, and there. So you can now see that we started off here, we had the corner piece, then we did 3 double crochets, we have the corner piece right here, and then we have the 3 double crochets. So everything is now balancing out, and you just got to repeat this on all 6 sides. So what I'm going to have you do is that I'm going to have you do that. We're going to meet back up over here, and where we come back up, and we're going to now get add on our new color. You will notice in this Afghan too is that I'm very consistent in the color. So I have pink, I have blue, and green. So then my next color that I'm going to start will also be pink. Just to keep everything consistent. So let's meet back up, keep going around, we'll meet back up, and we'll keep this project moving along. Okay, so we're now finishing up this round here. We're coming back, and we need to make sure everything is consistent. Now remember what I said, if you ended up with a stitch that's off count, you can always just kind of fudge it a bit on this stage, because this round here is going to determine the rest of your project in order to keep everything consistent. Okay, so we got our 3, we're going to go in for our 4th, which is our part of our corner, chain 1, and we're just going to slip stitch it to the beginning chain where we did. Okay, so we can see everything is pretty consistent. You have all of your boxes already laid out, and now it's time to get rid of this color, so we're going to trim it. And I fasten it off, so I'm just going to pull up, and like I showed before in part number 1, I kind of just weave it in. Now you'll notice that when we go to do this, the box blocks right here are going to be sealing really good. So you just kind of want to get that string so it's going to at least get to the 2 separate boxes over there. So you just kind of wrap it around. You can wrap it around, but you just got to make sure you tie it in somewhere secure, because when you put the stitches over here, it's going to trap that into position, and you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so let's get on our dusty rose pink, and rose dust, I think they call it, sorry. And let's look at this color, and we're bringing it in. Okay, and starting off with the slip knot. That's the way I do it. If you have a different way, more than welcome. Also, remember what I told you about the colors in part number 1, is that we've been working on this side. So now I want to turn this whole thing so that it's the other way. Okay. So all colors will go in from one side and all white will come in from the other. So we look for where that is here. It's right there. And we're just going to bring in the color on. And we're going to chain up 3 as per the directions. So 1, 2, and 3. And what we need to do now is that we can see now that every time you do a corner, when we build up each layer, is that there's going to be one extra stitch added on both sides of each flat space. So that's we're going to double crochet into the 4 that you see here. So we're going to do that right here. Okay, so we need to do this every time on a corner piece. And you will notice that I put a really big blown up picture of the corner sections. And so basically by adding this extra one here, it's going to make it look like a Christmas tree when it comes to looking at the edges of your or the corners of your work. So every time you're in a box now, you are just going to put in 5 double crochets in to that same spot. And do you see what I said, like where I've got now, where I'm going over top, this is where I wrapped the other loose end, so you can see all of this is just bearing over top of it, which is great. So very, very simple, just 5 double crochets, and now we're just going to immediately jump to the next box and 5 double crochets over there too. And so basically this is all you need to do. So you can see that this part of your Afghan going forward is actually a very quick process. It was probably the center is that is most labor intensive, I find. So there's your 5. Again, you're going to jump, and I want to take you to the edge to show you what to look for, and then we'll leave you to do the round and we'll meet back up where we'll fasten off again. And so basically what changes per every row is actually right in the corner, but then there's an actual repeat, and I'm going to show you what that is as well. Okay, so let's fast forward you to the end of the corner. So here we go, we're on the last box before the corner. We're putting in our 5 double crochets in. Okay, so you can kind of see that's all working. So basically, just like you started with before, what you're looking at here is that it's a representation of, you know, all the stitches that we had over here. I didn't actually go all the way around, but all we need to do is just like over here. We had 4 stitches plus the end. We just have to make sure we do the same on this over here as well. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then the 5th would then be the corner section, which is right here. Okay, and then we're going to just chain 1, and then we're going to come back in to the same corner for your V-stitch, and then we just continue to go along. So basically that's what it looks like. So you have a flat space, and then the boxes are in the center. And then what I want you to do is keep on going around. We're going to meet back up where we're going to slip stitch that and move you along to the next section. So we're now coming up to the end, and this is the actual same color, but you can see that the color is transitioning slowly, and it really makes for an amazing effect. So this is the last box before the corner piece there, and basically we just want to put in, so over here we had 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the corner, so we have to make sure we have the same on this side as well. And we have to make sure that for all corners, by the way, just keeping everything consistent. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, make sure you get this final one in before doing a corner. So 4, and then we finally have the corner, which is the same. It was where we started. Okay. Okay, and it looks like it's the same, but it's actually not. There's actually a stitch there, and then chain 1, and then we just want to come into the top. And slip stitch, fasten off, and weave in the edge, and we're going to start on with the white color next to build up our next layer.